Hello there. If you are here for the Pinterest Manager training, you're in the right place. So life happens to everybody. I went to start our meeting and it said my Zoom needed to update. So I usually start a few minutes early, but we are right smack dab on 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I would love to get to know you. What I would love for you to do, I would love for you to drop in the chat where you're from, what you currently do. And what I will also, let's see, I'm going to pin my video. You can leave your video off, leave yourself on mute. We're going to be utilizing the chat just because we'll see how many people show up, but typically there's a decent amount of people on my trainings. And so just to eliminate distractions and background noise, I just ask that you leave yourself on mute. And when you join the call, you're automatically already on mute. So I just kindly ask that you do that. So chat, get acclimated to the chat. Go ahead and drop in the chat where you are currently, where you're from, and then what you do. And I'm going to pull up my slides. And what I'm going to ask from your end, I would love for you to let me know if you can see my slides, make sure that everything's working. It has happened occasionally where I will be talking and my words don't match the slides. So if you feel like maybe, it's frozen or something like that, just let me know in the chat, like I said. That has happened occasionally. So I'm going to start checking the chat. Let's see, Taylor from Colorado. Welcome, Taylor. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Awesome. Chastity, I'm in California. I'm a nanny. Very cool. Woo, lots of people jumping in the chat here. Katie, Cleveland, Ohio, mom to three. Rachel, live in Miami, veteran teacher of 20 years. That's amazing. Rebecca from Dallas, currently a fifth grade teacher. And prior to the call, I know one of the things that it says like on the page after you sign up to come and leave me a message or send me an email. And I've been seeing through emails, we have a lot of teachers. So I'll share a little bit about myself, but this is really about what this career is about and if it's a good fit for you. So I'm not going to talk a lot about myself, but I do want you to connect to me and my story. But I am a former teacher. So we're going to start with the slides in just a minute. I'm just checking the chat still. Let's see. Rebecca from Dallas, currently fifth grade teacher. Sheena from Alabama, stay-at-home mom of two. And if I pronounce your name wrong, please forgive me. Feel free. People have even put like the phonetic way to say their name in the chat before. So um, let's see. Tariona, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. From Memphis, trying to start my own candle business. Very cool. Allie, Billings, Montana, currently staying at home and homeschooling my kids. That's amazing. I have four kids, for those of you that don't know, and I do homeschool. My oldest is just in first grade. Amanda in Texas and an infant teacher. Very cool. Let's see. Okay. Oh, good. I'm so glad I said it right. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to share my screen and just let me know if you can see my slides and we are going to get started. I am so excited. I love doing trainings and it's the teacher in me. I love helping and I love teaching. So you are going to learn what this career is all about and really, I'm going to share more, but by the end of this training, I want you to feel like you have clarity in regards to this being a good fit for you. So feel free to jump in the chat. Let me know if you can see these slides. It should say how to make 10K monthly as a Pinterest manager. If you can see that, let me know. And we will be off to the races. Let's see. Okay. I can see. Awesome. Yay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to get started. How to make 10K monthly as a Pinterest manager. So, of course, the beauty of this, as I shared, I am a stay-at-home mom. I also homeschool. Since I have started my business, I've never had full-time hours. So the whole point of this is being that it doesn't have to be on full-time hours, right? So we want a full-time income, part-time hours. So the teacher in me can't help but start really with the end in mind. So I want you to just have this clear roadmap of where we're going tonight because, like I said, I really want you to have clarity in regards to this being a good career fit for you. So, whoops, that is not what I meant to do. Okay, so what you're going to discover, why Pinterest management is a must for you now, even if you feel apprehensive about your current skills and knowledge, what you'll do as a Pinterest manager, it's really important that you get an idea of what this work is going to look like so you can, decide, does this seem like something I'm going to enjoy? We're going to talk about how to find clients and put yourself out there so that you can start making money now. The beauty of having a service-based business as a Pinterest manager is that it has very little overhead costs in terms of like running your business, and you can become profitable almost instantly. So as soon as you have a client, you're having money come in. And when I started my business, I got my first client in like 6 weeks. And so I had invested in a course, not Pinterest, but just freelancing in general. So it took me a little bit to kind of break even after I made that investment. It wasn't a huge investment, it was about $700. But anyways, the whole point of this though is that, you don't have to wait, um, you know, multiple years or anything that like that. It's not like going back to college, right? You can learn these skills pretty quickly and start making money, but you got to have those clients. And we're going to talk more about that. And then this last part, what might stop you and how to overcome it. The mindset piece is so important. And I truly believe in my heart that anybody can start this and be successful. But the mindset piece can be a challenge to overcome because we're going to have those thoughts creep into our head, such as like, who am I to think I can do this? Am I cut out for this? I know other people are successful, Emily, but can I do this? Those thoughts, they're natural. It comes anytime we're stepping outside of our comfort zone and doing something new. So it's really important that we think about how we're going to combat those feelings and overcome them. So you're in the right place if you want to change careers and you want more freedom and flexibility. Now, I will say some of my students in my Pinterest Manager Academy, like my student Emily, she has been teaching for multiple years, a lot of years. Let's well over a decade, I believe. She has 3 kids and she really wants her teacher retirement. And so I think she said that she has to teach for at least like 20 years, maybe 25. But anyways, she did not want to quit her job. So she actually took my academy. She landed 5 clients. She's bringing in almost 3,000 additional dollars a month on top of her teaching income. Now, that's a lot of work. I mean, she literally has 2 jobs. She's running her business and she's also teaching full time. I would say that most people who are interested in my academy and starting their business, they are really looking to change careers. However, it is doable if you just want additional money. So you're in the right place. If you want to spend less time working, but you want a full-time income so that you can comfortably support your family or just yourself, right? You're in the right place. If you want a career that really has no ceiling in regards to your growth and potential, that was the thing that was so like crazy for me. I remember when my first invoice got paid and it was $200, but I was like, "Oh my gosh," just because it was this turning point where I'm like, this is in my control. And after having been a teacher and not making very much, it was really exciting and it was kind of addictive. I got, it was just this whole new world to me. So you're in the right place if you're serious about taking action and investing in yourself. This doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take some time. So that leads right into you're not in the right place if, and I am all about giving people the facts, giving you the information you need to decide if this is a good fit for you. I'm not about steering people in the wrong direction. So if you can answer these and you're like, you know what, I don't think this is for me, right off the bat, like I want to respect your time. Feel free. Like if you don't think this is for you, no hard feelings, you can always jump off. So you're not in the right place if you're looking to get rich quick. This isn't that type of thing. I'm teaching you how to build a sustainable and a stable business. I've had my business for almost 7 years. I told somebody that recently and they're like, wow. And it's almost 2 times the amount of time that I taught. So I only actually taught for 3.5 years. So it's crazy that I've been a business owner for that much longer than I was a teacher. But like I said, it's taken effort. And my husband said something actually today about, this is something that you've been building. And yes, I started making income quickly, but it's not like I, you know, made my first 6 figures overnight. It took time and effort. So you're not in the right place if you don't see your time as your most valuable commodity. You're not in the right place if you're going to be mad at me spending over an hour of my time teaching you how you can get started on your own, or have me be your mentor if you feel like this is a good fit. You're not in the right place if you're looking for instant gratification rather than building a sustainable business that will be an asset for you. Here's this theme again. Spoiler alert, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your business isn't going to be built in a day. However, I do have students who land their first client in 2 to 3 weeks, or even 4 to 6 weeks, which is very quickly. So, no, it didn't happen overnight, literally, but I do have students who make a lot of progress. But it goes back to this time piece, and you're going to hear this resounding theme of you are going to get out of your business what you put into it. So the more time you're investing, the quicker you're going to see results. So I want you to stay until the end because I have an exclusive invitation for you that I do not share anywhere else online. So this is for you. I love starting my coaching calls off with my students with wins because I think it's just so nice to start off with like a positive high note. So I wanted to share some of my wins that I'm seeing in my academy with all of you. So this is Annie. She's a former teacher. She enrolled in the academy in February of 2024, and by June of 2024, she quit her job. And she just posted this. Sorry, I'm trying to move my camera around a little bit. She just posted this in our coaching channel. So my students do receive daily coaching. They share wins, they ask questions, they share struggles, they share where they're getting stuck so that I can help them and they can move forward. So my academy is very different because it's not like, hey, do this. In theory, it should work. You are actually getting daily coaching and support with me. So you're working closely with me. So Annie shared, I have some exciting news. I'm officially at my first 5K month as a Pinterest manager. She did this, she hit her first 5K month in less than a year. So I've signed 2 new clients in the past 2 days. That puts me at 8 clients for January. I literally could have never imagined my life like this before finding your content on YouTube last year. You have transformed my perspective on starting a business and working for myself. I literally owe all of this to you. And this isn't to toot my own horn. I actually told Annie, I'm like, no, no, no. I gave you the tools. You use the tools. So I'm like, you got to give yourself a lot more credit. So, of course, I helped her do it, but she had to put in the work. And Annie has been a rock star. So, she said, even though I'm excited to start working with Pinterest ads, I haven't even touched that yet. You are so right that we can scale with organic management, which is what I'm teaching all of you tonight. And you can have a full-time income without needing to do ads, so additional services. So I'm going to continue to share more wins. Robin, also a former teacher, I signed 2 new clients. Your support has made all the difference. Adriana, I had a strategy call. She just booked and it's $297. So she was making $297 from the strategy call, and it's a 1 hour call. This is Nancy. She said officially signed and paid. I'm so excited. So I helped her. We did a one-on-one coaching day together, and within 30 days, she got her first client, and the client was $597 a month. She was super excited. Adriana, I shared her story on my Instagram, and I even have her success story. She's actually a former orthodontist, and she had lots and lots of success in my academy. So I'm sharing these stories with you, but let's talk about, okay, all of these people are Pinterest managers. Let's talk about what is a Pinterest manager. As a Pinterest manager, you are a small business owner. You're service-based. So you are offering your services to businesses, okay? And they are willing to pay you for those services because there is a real need for this type of work. So as a freelancer, you are a contractor, an independent contractor. So you are not an employee. You are not employed by Pinterest. You're not employed by your clients. When you work with clients, it's a mutual, like, I'm signing the contract and you're signing the contract as well. So either party can end that contract at any point in time. However, I found that with my clients, there's a lot of consistency. Some of my clients I've worked with for over 3 years. So it's, like I said, was very stable. As a Pinterest manager, you're a marketer. So business owners will pay you to market their business on their Pinterest account. So let me explain this. I worked with somebody who sold baby pacifiers, and I had just had a baby when we started working together, so it felt very relevant. And I would log into her Pinterest account. I designed her pins, and they would link back to her products, which were baby pacifiers. She also had a blog too. So I worked on her Pinterest account. I was not working on my Pinterest. So some of you, most of you are probably here because you love Pinterest, but you're actually not working on your Pinterest account. That's great that you love Pinterest and you use it. That's a great way to decide, like, do I think I'll like this work? Do I even enjoy Pinterest? but you're actually not going to be on your Pinterest account. You're going to be on your clients. And it's a lot of fun to help other businesses. And it's like creating this ecosystem where you're helping their business grow via Pinterest. And in return, they're helping you by paying you in your small business for your services. So when you're thinking about this alignment, does it feel good to help people and offer your services? So you're not selling a product or anything like that, but you're helping businesses by offering your services. So it's okay if this is still like a little muddled to you, if you feel like you still have a little, a few things to kind of figure out in your mind. But I would like, to hear from you in general. Drop a one in the chat if this makes sense. Drop a two if you're like, I still have no idea what a Pinterest manager is. And that's okay if it's a two. But a one if you're like, yes, I do understand now. Like, I get it. Like, I'm working on somebody's account and they're paying me to do that. So let me know in the chat. I can see, Sheena, I can see, Katie, I can see. Oh, you're saying my screen. Sorry. One. Okay. One-ish. One. Awesome. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't even see any twos. You guys are rock stars. Okay. So what we're going to do now, I want you to use the chat again. Tell me, what do you want in the future? What like lights you up and you're like, oh my gosh, this would be amazing. How much do you want to make monthly in 3 years? And how many hours would you like to work weekly? So income monthly, hours weekly. So for example, when I was teaching, I was making like $1,800 a month after taxes and insurance and everything was taken out. This was also back in 2017, but I have the receipts, I have the pay stubs because one time I had somebody on YouTube tell me that I was lying about this. And I'm like, first of all, where you're teaching state to state makes a difference. This was also 7 years ago, but I literally made $1,800 a month. I also taught at a charter school. There's a lot of things that can go into come into play there. But I was making $1,800 a month and I was working like 50 to 55 hours a week. So for me, if I would have said, what's my dream outcome? I'm like, well, gosh, if I made like 2,000 or 2,500 and worked 20 hours, that would be my dream outcome. That was kind of where I was starting. I didn't have like, I wasn't like, I need to be a millionaire in 3 years. I'm like, I just don't want to work full time and I want to be at home and I want to replace, if not make a little bit more than what I'm currently making. Maybe I should have dreamed a little bit bigger, but that was like my goal. So I would love for you to put in when you're thinking about 3 years, like what would really excite you and be like, I would be like on fire if I got this. So I want you to put that because these are what we're going to call the four futures. And that green, that is the 3 years like, oh my gosh, Emily, this would be amazing. So income monthly, hours you're working weekly. What would be amazing? You can put that in the chat if you'd rather just put done. If you don't want to type that out, if you feel like it's personal, that's fine. But I think it's good to put out the goals. And then we're going to kind of work through these other things too. So I'm going to check the chat, but I also want you to be thinking through like, what would okay be? Maybe it's a little less money, a bit more hours. Poor would be like pretty far off of that income goal, and maybe you're working like 40 plus hours. And then the worst possible scenario. So when we're thinking about making a change and doing something different, sometimes out of a survival mechanism, we naturally go to like worst case scenario, right? Because we're like, what is the worst thing that could happen? And most of the time, we spiral into this like, I'll lose my job. I won't have money. I can't pay for my house or I can't pay for my rent. I'm going to be like, not have a home. I can't, put food on the table. That is like, feels like the worst case scenario, right? So, like I said, I want you to think about this as a time horizon because in 3 years, that sounds somewhat far away, but it's not so far away that we can't wrap our mind around it, right? So, when we're thinking about this, the decisions we make right now, February 2nd, 2025, the decisions we make right now, they're either getting us closer or further away from where we want to be in 3 years. Like the change, it needs to start now if you want a different future for yourself, right? So I want to check the chat. I just kind of wanted to explain this concept of the four futures though. So Allie said, are we able to get a replay of this? I really want to stay and hear more, but something has come up with my kiddos. Yes, I will send a replay. Rachel said minimum 5K a month. Sheena, I would love 5 to 7 a month and maybe work 20-ish hours. Beautiful, Sheena. Hope 20 to 30 hours. and 5 to 10K a month. Awesome. Stacy, I would love 7K a month, maybe 20 to 25 hours. Robin, 25K a month, 20 hours. Amazing. 3 to 5K. Allie, 20-ish hours a week. Katie, 10K a month in 3 years flex. A Jew income, $2,000 weekly, 10 hours. Oh, these are amazing. Okay. So I love these. I love these goals. So like I said, we're thinking about this as a time rise. And so you can look at this black arrow. This is February 2nd right now. So over the next couple of weeks, months, years, look at these arrows. They start to get further and further apart based off of the choices we make. The choices we make right now, they impact our future for better or for worse. And so for me, I'll continue with this example of myself. If I would have continued to teach after I had my daughter, I worked at a great school. They actually were going to allow me to come back part-time, which is kind of unheard of. So I was going to be working 3 days a week. But I was also going to be losing health insurance and those benefits because I was going to be technically 24 hours was considered part-time. And I looked into daycares, and a lot of daycares, if you are taking 3 days a week, a lot of times, they want you to commit to five, and then you have to pay even if you're not utilizing 5 days a week. And once we did the math, once we factored in childcare, even if we just utilized 3 days a week, I made so little teaching. I was either going to be breaking even or even paying to work because I also had a 30-minute commute. So you had to factor in gas. If I was paying to work for two, three, the next 10 years, that is literal insanity. You can't make that make sense. So I really felt like in some ways my back was against the wall because I had to make a change. Like I wasn't going back to teaching. We needed money. We had a mortgage. We had things we had to pay for. And we knew that we would be okay for like maybe a couple of months, but we didn't want to have to sweat just paying the regular bills. So as you can see over this time horizon, between 6 to 9 months, these arrows start to get further apart. And once you look 3 years out, the difference between your amazing result and the worst case scenario, it almost becomes insurmountable. So when we get to that place where we're so far from where we want to be, it almost feels like we're like in a hole. Or, if you're in debt, like that's so hard and uncomfortable. And it's like, it's almost feels like you can't like see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And I don't say that to sound depressing, but I say that to just really drive home the fact that like we have to make a change if we want there to be change, right? Einstein's definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So these students, they, you know, they did it and they did it scared, okay? Sometimes it is scary to make a change, but like I said, they knew that they needed and wanted a change. Adriana's story, I share hers a lot because it's just she was an orthodontist. That is a very good career and one that is definitely makes good money. But her quality of life, like her mental health, her physical health, she was actually going through infertility and she was not happy at her job. And when she quit her job and she started a blog as like a hobby, she got pregnant. And so, sometimes that money and that job, it's not worth our happiness, right? Of course, we have bills to pay. So she decided that the blogging wasn't consistent income. And so that's why she decided to start her Pinterest management business. And within 5 months, she was making 5K a month as a Pinterest manager. Erin was a former teacher. Owns multiple Etsy shops, but she actually was finding that that wasn't super stable income. So she's been wildly successful in the academy. Whitney, she was a hygienist and sharing all of her wins. So, how would that feel when you're thinking about that 3 year goal to hit that like five to $7,000 or $10,000 in those part-time hours? I want you to put that in the chat. How would that feel if you hit that goal? How would that feel? Stacy, amazing. Let's see. Katie, proud and very relieved. Sheena, life-saving. Oh, I love that, Robin. It would be amazing. Rachel, liberating. Yuritsa, amazing. Hope, absolutely amazing. I love it. Okay, so what is it costing you right now not to start? So this has been possible for me and my students thanks to freelancing and Pinterest management. And I love sharing their stories because I want to show you that like this didn't just work for me multiple years ago. This is working in 2024, 2025, and beyond for my students. And so when we're thinking about this and starting a new career, let's think about like what is it worth to me? So if I were to make $10,000 a month and work 20 hours a week, what would that be worth to me? So let's talk about other avenues that allow you to start a new career and how much it literally costs you just to help put things into perspective. So trade school is about $5,000 to $15,000 according to tradeschool.net. A four-year college is anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 according to advisors, which is insane. So we live in this amazing time and we can change careers and learn new skills. And the good news is that it's about finding something that's aligned, it's in alignment for you, and you don't have to spend $15,000 or even $5,000 or 30 or 50, right? You don't have to go back to school. But like I said at the beginning, it does take some time to learn these new skills, okay? So we weren't just born knowing how to work on Pinterest. So it will take some time and effort, but the good news is that you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars. But I do want you to think about like what would that be worth to me if I could have this career that is stable, sustainable, part-time hours, and has this ability to literally scale it to the moon. I mean, there's nothing that would keep you from not continuing to increase your income. And what I teach my students is all the different ways that they can continue to scale without working more. Okay. So it's not about making more and working more, it's about making more and keeping your hours part time. So, some of my Pinterest Manager Academy students land their first client in 3 weeks. Others, it does take a few months, but it doesn't need to take you years to create sustainable income from this. So, this big zero, that is how much experience I had in anything related to business, sales, marketing, when I first started, a big zero. So, I want you to share in the chat, are you like me? Do you have any experience? Now, I do want to share, like, even if you've used Canva, or anything like that, I'll consider that experience. So, for some of my students who have been bloggers, Etsy shop owners, virtual assistants, I consider that experience. But I do want to say, I did not have any prior experience. I was a classroom teacher. I had never like dabbled in anything else whatsoever. I'm just sincerely curious where you're at. Stacy said no experience. Sheena says, I have a marketing background, but have only used Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's amazing though, Sheena. I knew absolutely nothing about marketing, so you're already ahead of me. Katie, no prior experience. Yuritsa, no experience. Rebecca, no experience. Okay, so a lot of you are like me, some of you aren't. So as I've been continually sharing, this is not new news to you. I am a former teacher, so I taught kindergarten and second grade. And in 2017, that's when I had my first daughter. And I adjusted to motherhood for about 8 months. And it was in the summer of 2018 that we realized that we don't want, and maybe this sounds bad or I don't know, but like we didn't want to have to always live on less. Like we didn't want to give up family vacations. We didn't want to give up eating out or the like once every couple weeks Starbucks run or whatever that may be. Some of the things that make life really enjoyable, even date nights, paying the sitter. And also, too, we had just moved and the house was a little bit of a stretch for us in terms of mortgage. And we were actually a little bit nervous about just our regular bills. Like, we didn't want to be uncomfortable. And also, like, nobody wants to live paycheck to paycheck or be sweating that. We also, like, I need to have some type of savings or retirement. So in July of 2018, that's when I decided to take a freelance course. Now, this course did not teach me how to market on Pinterest. It taught me about freelancing and this umbrella of all the things that you can do as a freelancer. So I actually started as a virtual assistant and then I pivoted to social media management. So I worked on mainly Instagram and I did that for about a year and I hated it. I was so done with it. And I almost like had this moment where I'm like, if I have to do social media management, like maybe freelancing isn't for me. But I knew that Pinterest management was a thing. I had heard about it, but I didn't know who to learn it from. And around that time that I was feeling burnt out with social media and feeling like I needed a change, I had a client who I was actually working on her Instagram. She asked me to play around with her Pinterest. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I started poking around and then I did end up taking a course and I took a membership, I took a Pinterest ads course. I started listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos. Just started devouring everything that I could. And I had this client that allowed me to experiment on her account. And unfortunately, the Pinterest course that I did end up taking, it's now been essentially like retired. So people will ask me about it, and I'm like, it's not even a thing anymore. But I became obsessed with Pinterest and I got her really good results. And from that point on, I decided that I was only going to offer Pinterest. And this was actually in 2019. So, and that was in June of 2019. I decided like I was going to just focus on Pinterest. And so that's what I've been doing since then. And it's crazy how my business has changed and evolved over time, and I still serve clients. Of course, I have my Pinterest Manager Academy where I get to teach and help others, but that wasn't even until the past 2 years. And so it's just been incredible. Like, I never thought that I would be where I am now, and I wouldn't be if I hadn't have just started. The hardest part is always just taking that first step. So I've kind of shared how I've gotten to where I am now. But it's crazy to see how, like I said, it's changed and evolved, and I still serve clients and work with them. And some of them, like I said, I've worked with for like 3+ years. So I'm not taking new clients. So I always tell people who are thinking about my academy, I'm not competition for my students. And actually, I market my business on TikTok, Instagram. And when people are like, hey, can I hire you? I'm always like, hey, hire one of my students because I'm actually not taking clients. So it's kind of amazing that I've like been able to use my online presence now to help new Pinterest managers, which I love. So, one thing I learned through working on this client's account was how much I love Pinterest, but how Pinterest works for business owners. So I want to explain this to you because when you're thinking about like, is this the thing? Is there really a need for this? Are there people who actually want to pay me for this? It's important to understand that yes, there are people that need this, and yes, there are people that will pay you for this. Because if you don't understand those things, then it's going to hold you back from getting started, right? So let's talk about how Pinterest works because we use Pinterest daily, right? And we probably love it. And we're not thinking about it from the other side though, like how business owners are making money on it. So I want to explain this other side of Pinterest to you. And I want to say that one of the things that, you know, why there's a need for this is that the other side of it isn't super intuitive. So a lot of people don't really know how to use Pinterest for business. They know like looking up things and looking at pretty pins and finding ideas and recipes and their next DIY project, but they're not thinking about the other side and they've probably never designed a pin. So when we go to Pinterest, we have a problem. We need, like I said, a dinner recipe, ideas for the baby nursery, our next travel plan. What did I look up the other day? Oh, I was looking for console tables. And so we use it and we type in keywords. Those keywords are part of what makes Pinterest so unique. It's a search engine. So we type in keywords and then we see pins come up. Those pins inspire us. They have pictures, they have words. Whatever speaks to us, we either save for later on one of our boards or we click through and we go off Pinterest. And that is where the gold happens for for business owners. Pinterest has trained people to leave the platform. Instagram and TikTok, they want to suck you in and keep you on the platform. Pinterest is so amazing for business owners because it's trained people to leave and go to their website. And guess what? When they get you to their website, then they get you into their world, and that's how they end up turning you into a customer or a subscriber or just a reader. If you read a food blogger's website, all those pesky ads that are coming up, just from you going to their website and reading their blog or looking at the recipe, they can make money off of those paid ads they have on their website. So that is why business owners use Pinterest. It helps them make more money and it helps their business get discovered. 97% of searches on Pinterest are unbranded. That means that people aren't going to to Pinterest looking for Target or Nordstrom or Old Navy or Gap. They are looking for just ideas and they're able to discover these new businesses, small businesses. So there's this amazing opportunity for business owners. So essentially, how Pinterest works for business owners, businesses get discovered on Pinterest. So the Pinterest user goes to Pinterest and then they leave the platform and go to other websites to get their solution to their problem. So Pinterest drives traffic. And on Instagram, how people will say like, or TikTok, people will be like, link in bio or this or that. They want you to click on their link where you can learn more, where they can educate you, or you can buy something from them, or you can sign up for something. And that's how they're marketing, right? We're not new to that. So Pinterest drives traffic and to the tune of multiple thousands of dollars. Some of my clients have made over $15,000 from Pinterest traffic alone. So yes, it makes sense for them to pay you to help them grow on Pinterest. So these are just screenshots of some of the results I've gotten for my clients. So when you're thinking about this, that's why I'm an authority to teach on this, is because I've been doing this for multiple years and I've worked with clients. And now, I would love to help you learn this marketing side so that you can offer as a service. So when you're thinking about who can benefit from Pinterest, Target, Lush, Peloton. So huge name businesses are using Pinterest. So these are screenshots of their Pinterest accounts, but there's also bloggers, course creators, service providers, lots of different types of online businesses. I always say when you're thinking about this and like who you could help, think about some of like your favorite businesses. Just go and check out and see if they have a presence on Pinterest. So it's crazy to me. There are a lot of businesses who still sleep on Pinterest. I actually was looking at this like low slash non-toxic person on Instagram. And she shares all of these products. She actually had a brain tumor. She had cancer. She had that removed. She overcame that. And she became like really passionate about like eliminating anything with like chemicals and stuff like that in her house. She sells products. She has affiliate links. So I go to her website because I'm interested in her products. And I'm looking and I'm like, I just want to see if she's on Pinterest. She wasn't on Pinterest. She has a blog, all these products. I'm like, you could be making so much more money if you just used Pinterest. And so there's these opportunities that are out there waiting for us. And it was so exciting to me. I actually went and told my students, I'm like, I'm not looking for clients. Somebody please go and pitch to her and be like, let's get you on Pinterest. So there's a lot of opportunities still. But when you're thinking about who might not benefit, I would consider almost assume that most people will benefit from Pinterest in terms of businesses. I want to give you an example of somebody who might not. My daughters, they go to a pediatric dentist. They have a website, but Pinterest probably won't really make sense for their business because they don't sell products, they don't have a blog. Even if somebody has a blog, you have to think about like, how are they making their money? This pediatric dentist, they're making their money from seeing patients in person. They don't need to market to people all over the country or even all over the world. So you have to think about that. And if they have these geographic constraints, so if they can only serve a very small local population, then yeah, Pinterest might not make sense. However, there is a local boutique that I love, and they have a couple of different locations in the Indianapolis area where I am. And not only do they sell in person, but they actually have a really big online business. So they sell and ship all over the country. So it would make sense for them to use Pinterest. So you just kind of have to look at their business model and take it case by case. There's not these like blanket statements where it's like, this business, all of these people it won't make sense. You just, like I said, you have to kind of take it case by case and look at their business model. But hundreds of thousands, honestly, not hundreds of thousands, millions, multiple millions of small businesses that can benefit from Pinterest. So when people ask me about the saturation, I am like, there are so many more businesses that need Pinterest marketing than there are Pinterest managers. So if you know 100 Pinterest managers, please let me know in the chat because that will be the first time. Okay, so I've achieved amazing results for my clients. I've grown their traffic 50% over year. I've helped them make 5 to 10 to as much as $15,000 strictly from their Pinterest traffic. And I don't say this to brag, but I say this to explain why somebody would want to hire you to do this is because you're helping their business grow and make more money. So Pinterest is a no-brainer for almost any business. And this means there's endless opportunities for you and all of these potential clients. So even if you're like me and you have zero experience, zero marketing knowledge, zeros across the board, you're still in the right place because that was me too. So let's talk about why you and why Pinterest. I want you to identify with some of these stories. Courtney was a preschool teacher. And just within 4 months of enrolling in the academy, she was making $2,200 a month within 4 months. So, of course, leading up to that, I want to say she got within 8 weeks, she got her first client, and I believe it was $500 a month. And then the second month, she got like four more clients. And then she put here, so this was actually last year. So she enrolled in October of 2023. And by March of 2024, she was at $2,200 a month. So, and like I said, she was actually still teaching preschool too. So I said she was a former preschool teacher, but she actually still taught preschool 2 days a week. She had two boys, and then she became pregnant, and she was super excited because she was still going to be able to run her business even with a baby. And she, this was going to allow her to continue to run her business. And if she wanted to go back to preschool teaching, she could, but she also didn't have to. So Jen, another student, she got her first client. She was so excited. Ashley was a stay-at-home mom and just talking about how she never thought that she'd be confident and now she's running her own business. So let's talk about what gives Pinterest the edge because right now there is a lot of noise online. There's a lot of different ways that you can work from home. And I don't know about you, but it can be confusing, it can be loud. And I actually started 7 years ago. And it's changed a lot even since I started. But there was still a lot of options. Like there was affiliate marketing, you could become an influencer. There was digital products, that stuff is not new. Of course, MLM, things like that. But let's talk about why Pinterest was a good fit for me. And I want you to see and think about like, is there an alignment here for me? Because if this doesn't feel right to you, then it's probably not going to be a good fit, right? But I think that we have a gut instinct about things and, an intuition in regards to like, I think this is a really good fit for me. And that's how I felt about Pinterest. And that's what I was going off of when I decided to totally pivot my business. I didn't have all this experience. I just felt like it would be a good fit. That's what I was going off of. So, Pinterest is a platform it's really underrated, like I kind of shared. And this means that a lot of businesses need to get on board. You can be creative. This is huge. You have the ability to batch content so you're not having to hustle every day. And I'm going to explain this more in a few minutes when I show you my framework that I teach. It's a platform where you get to feel good. And that was huge for me because when I was doing social media management, or let's say I've had people be like, I looked into affiliate marketing, but like I was going to have to be all over Instagram in order to grow it and to get people to click my links. And like that just isn't me. And I don't want to do that. So when you're thinking about Pinterest, it's a little bit more introverted work, and you're working on your client's account, but also too, like it's a positive platform. When I did social media management, there's always people who leave rude comments or like just kind of troll. And it's part of life, but that doesn't mean that you want to deal with it every day. And it kind of wore on me and, different strokes for different folks. Like some people like don't, that doesn't bother them, but I was kind of over it after a year. I love that Pinterest has this unlimited potential. And of course, when I'm thinking about the business model and deciding if this was for me, I want you to ask yourself, does it feel good to help other business owners thrive? And to me, I was like, yes. That was one thing that really felt in alignment. Like I wasn't trying to push anything on anybody or sell stuff that people didn't want or harass like friends and family, but I was offering this service to business owners who needed it. So that felt good to me. So when I'm thinking about this though, the reality was when I started, I had no business experience, nor did I understand how or why businesses would use Pinterest to make money. I just knew I loved the platform. So maybe you can identify with that. Maybe you don't have experience. Maybe you're still unsure of how you're going to help people make money on Pinterest, but you just love Pinterest. So that was me too. So since then, I've come a long way. I created a repeatable system for using Pinterest to drive traffic for my clients and convert their traffic into loyal customers. And that is what I'm teaching my students inside the Pinterest Manager Academy so that they can achieve those results for their clients and now have a successful freelance business. So I'm not going to read these right now, but I do have multiple different clients. These are not students in the academy, but these were actually people who were paying me for my services. So this is Jillian. She's a course creator and a digital product seller. She just shared about me being knowledgeable and helping her grow her Pinterest. This is Shannon. I still work with Shannon. We worked together over the summer. I'm going to work with her again in the spring. I always run ads for her. She's a blogger. She's an author. She's written multiple books. She also sells digital products, and I market her blog and her books on Pinterest. So Shannon said Emily Vales is nothing short of amazing. It's been a trickier platform, but her strategies help lead to a very high volume of views, clicks, and sales. Businesses want to hire you because you're helping them make more money. So, yes, they have to pay you for your services, but it's a good return on their investment. Okay. So, you're helping them make even more money despite having to pay you, right, for your services. So, these are some of the things that Pinterest has allowed me to do. It's helped me stay at home with my girls and show them that you can do anything you set your mind to. I love helping business owners thrive daily. This is still mind blowing to me. I've made more in 1 month managing Pinterest accounts than I made in 7 months of teaching. And of course, I have the freedom to do my job from anywhere, which means days like today, I actually was preparing for the call tonight, and my daughter had dance on a Sunday evening, and I was working in the car. So I can truly do the work when it's convenient for me. So if you can't tell, I have become obsessed with Pinterest, and that's because it was a platform that not only I loved, but it allowed me to start this amazing service-based business. So, what we're going to do here as we continue on with this training, we're going to talk about some mindset blocks you're going to have to overcome in order to start this business. And I think that this is such an important foundation that we have to address if you're going to do this. And then I'm going to share with you my framework so that you can get started with this Pinterest management business and you know what it's going to require of you and how this framework is helping my students get to that dream result. Remember that result we talked about at the beginning? And some of my students, that dream result, it's not taking them 3 years. Some of them said that they wanted to be making $3,000 to $5,000, and they're doing that within like 5 months. Remember Annie? She was like, "This is literally life changing for me." And people don't say that to be dramatic. When you can change careers, that literally changes everything for your life. So right now, you might be thinking, "Yeah, but." I don't think I'll ever be able to develop the skills I need to be successful. So I really want you to think about this. If you're thinking, I think this could be for me. Let's think about this as a staircase. You got to take one step at a time or or even building a house, laying it brick by brick. You can't get caught up in looking at the big picture and feeling overwhelmed. You just have to put one foot in front of the other. And that is what is so different about my academy is that I'm not just training you, but I'm giving you the support along the way so that when you feel like you're getting tripped up and you don't know what foot to put next, I'm there to catch you and say, put your right foot next. And, my students are getting that coaching, and I find that that makes all the difference in the world to their success. So you have to think about, though, is this starting your business? Is this helping you get closer or further away from where you want to be in 5 to 10 years from now? I would think it's going to get you closer, right? You're here for a reason. You're not here because you wanted to waste an hour of your time on a Sunday night. So, roadblock number two. I know this works for other people, but how do I know it's going to work for me? That is the $1,000,000 question I always get asked. So, it didn't just work for me, it's working for dozens and actually even hundreds of students inside the Pinterest Manager Academy. And like I said, I started in 2018, but this is what's happening for them in 2025. So Shreen was so excited. I just landed my first client. She committed to 3 months. And I will say, spoiler alert, the work, most of it, occasionally you will have like a one-off package, but most of your clients will be on retainer. So once you land a client, they're going to continue to work with you. So it's not like every month you're starting back over at zero. No, it's like once you land 5 clients, of course you can take on more clients, but there's going to be consistency with your income. So Emily, no questions today, but just wanted to share I landed my first client. Crystal, my win for today, got my first testimonial client. She's super interested in my Pinterest marketing services. Adriana sharing she got her fourth. Emily, this is the student I mentioned earlier who's still teaching full-time and has multiple clients. The discovery call went really well. So she shared that she got her second client. Now she actually has 5 clients. Don't know how she does it while teaching full-time. Annie sharing another win. Michaela, she got her second client, Jordan, her first client. So you can see lots and lots of wins. I can keep going. Kelly, excited to roll with this. Wins, I got three clients and felt great. I made $1,600 this month. Joey stepping outside of her comfort zone, which is always crazy. So the reason this is working for these women is because they're taking action. They are committing to this, making sure that they're starting their week with a plan, even if it's just an hour a day, and they're taking action. This works if you work it. So I always say I give 100% to my students, but my students have to give 100% too. So if you want to know if this will work for you, are you willing to put in the work? This isn't some magic trick where, it's like a flip of the coin or a roll of the dice if it'll work for you. It's like, am I okay with the fact that it might take me 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks to get a client, or it might take me 3 months? Gwendolyn, she has 4 clients right now, and she promised herself that when she got to that fifth client, she was going to quit her job. But she enrolled and she was working full time. She has 2 kids and she was finishing up 2 online courses. She had every reason in the world to make excuses and not put in the work, and she refused to do that. She had the most positive attitude. It took her 3 months to get her first client, but she knew that she could do this and she just kept plugging away. And that work that she was putting in, it didn't go to waste. It took her a little bit more time because she didn't have as much time, but she continued to show up. And I just did an Instagram live with her like a couple of weeks ago, if you want to look at my Instagram, and she shared her story. And, you know, it worked because she continued to put in the work. So that's what you have to ask yourself. Am I willing to put in the work? And it's as simple as that. So my most successful students, they take action, they take action, they ask questions. I started to combine those two together. They take advantage of the daily coaching I'm giving you every single day. They show up to coaching calls. So we have a weekly coaching call where you can come and chat with me. Um, they reach out to business owners via my hire form. So I literally give my students leads. People will fill out the hire form being like, I have a $500 budget. I'm open to working with a beginner. Here's my email. I am giving my students leads. There is, you are being given this help. And I'm like, that I didn't have that when I first started my business. I didn't have, Pinterest leads given to me. So, I really try to help my students in that way. I ask them, like, you have to follow the roadmap that's given to you, and they don't make excuses. So this is tough love, Emily. This is the theme, like I always try to tell my coaching students too. There's this balance between like being like loving and encouraging and supportive, and then also giving people tough love and sometimes telling people what they need to hear, but not what it's not what they want to hear, but it's what they need to hear. So this is something I heard. This is not my quote. I can't remember even who said it, so I can't quote them, but if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. So it's like, what are you fighting for? Are you fighting for those limitations, or are you fighting for the future that you want? It's like Gwendolyn. If she wanted to fight for her limitations, she had every opportunity to, between all the different things she had going on in her life when she started. So, roadblock number 3. Isn't it just easier to stick with my current career? I think this sounds too uncomfortable. So you have to ask yourself, do you want another year of almost? You're here, you signed up tonight. You're taking time out of your life because you want more. If you're not happy with your current situation, what's that going to look like in 5 years? So I loved my other job too. And I can feel for you if you feel that way right now, like, ugh, maybe I should just stay doing what I'm doing. I loved my job. But major life events can change how you feel. And when I had my daughter, I felt totally different. And you have to decide what's more painful, starting something new or staying where you are. For me, in the way the dynamic that, what had changed in my life, it was way more painful for me to think about leaving my daughter, not having that time with her, and also breaking even or losing money income wise, that I'm like, I can't make this make sense. And kind of going back to Gwendolyn too, when you're talking about your life and events changing, she shared last week when we did that Instagram live that her the place that she works for, not only was she not getting a raise, but they were actually making pay cuts and they were lowering her pay. And she was like, that was kind of a slap in the face, and it made me feel like really underappreciated. She's like, I actually like enjoy my job, but that I just couldn't, that wasn't okay with me. And so that change made her feel like, I have to do this. I want something that I'm in control over. So the thing is you need a process. You don't need a pipe dream. There's a lot of pipe dreams sold on the internet, sold on social media, and I think that that makes people a little hesitant, as you should be, to before you just like jump into something, like do your research, like you're here to learn more, and I want you to decide like, is this right for me? Because there are a lot of pipe dreams, and I'm not here to tell you that you're going to make $2.2 million in 6 months. I literally read that on a reel recently. Somebody said that they made $2.2 million in 6 months. And maybe they did. That's amazing for them. That is like not normal. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. I was just listening to a podcast the other day. It's Alex Hormozy's podcast, and he's very crass and he uses a lot of bad language, which I do not listen to that with little ears around, but he does give amazing business advice, but he's also very blunt. And he was like, all if it was that easy, everybody would do it. He's like, all of the low-hanging fruit is already gone. He's like, but not everybody is willing to put in the work and the reps when you're not getting that immediate return. But we live in this world where we expect immediate gratification. It's like, I have seriously thought before, like with Amazon Prime, if it doesn't come like in 12 hours, I'm like, I don't want that anymore. Like, what? That's so ridiculously impatient. But that's the thing. It's like we've been trained to have immediate gratification. And the things that are really worth it, sometimes they don't happen overnight, right? So I want you to think about that. I do want to say though, the Pinterest management game is way easier than you think. And I want to share with you what you need. So we shared at the beginning what our goal was. So I want you to think back to what you said in terms of the income, because I have this in the middle, 15 to 20 hours weekly, 10K monthly. I want you to let me know in the chat, got it, if you remember those numbers. So let me know in the chat if you got it, because that is your goal. I'm going to take a sip of water while I give you a second to type. So if you got it, let me know. Rebecca got it. Hope said no experience, but I am that person. Anything you ask for, I find it on Pinterest and Etsy. I love that, Hope. I am the same. Taronia said I use Canva. Oh, great. Rachel, I run a broadcasting program, lots of experience filming, writing, editing, amazing. Ju, I have used Canva. I have stores on Redbubble and PayHip with zero sales though. Oh, bummer. Rebecca, no experience, no experience. Okay. I was catching up a little bit. Got it, got it. Okay. You guys are rock stars. So this is the framework I am teaching to my Pinterest Manager Academy students. This is how they're getting to that dream result in the middle, the part-time hours, full-time income. And you have seen lots and lots of their feedback. So the first piece of this framework, one of the big reasons, right, why you're here tonight, a huge part of this is you want freedom and money. So how are you going to get to that freedom and money? So before we can get to the freedom and money, so offering this service, it taking us those part-time hours, we have to take our skills and transform them. So you're here because most likely you like Pinterest. Now, I have had people in trainings who are like, I've never used Pinterest before. So actually drop that in the chat. Let me know how much you like Pinterest. Do you love it or have you never used it? You can put like love it or never used it. Put one of those in the chat. Because what we're going to do now, in order to get to this freedom and money, where you start offering this service and you get paid for this service working part-time hours, we have to transform your skills. Okay, so you're a Pinterest user right now, but we need to turn you into a Pinterest guru. So let's see. Love it, love it, love it. Lots of love it. Let's see. All exclamation point. Use it sporadically, Rachel. Okay, that's fair. Love it, love it, love it. Like I said, no wrong answers. No such thing as a wrong answer here. Just want your sincere thoughts. So lots of loves it, one sporadic. What we're going to do is we're going to take that love it or even sporadic, we're going to transform those skills and turn you into a guru. So in my academy, I don't teach you surface level. I am giving you expert skills training. So whether you learn that in the academy or you learn that someplace else, you do have to have skills training because we weren't born knowing how to market on Pinterest. So before you can start offering this service, you do have to, like I said, learn these skills. So part of this includes design. So when you're thinking about transforming those skills, one thing I do and I work on daily is on Canva. So this is actually one of my very first pins. So remember how I said that you enter in keywords when you're using Pinterest and then you see pins come up once you've searched. Well, one thing that you'll be doing as a Pinterest manager is designing the pins. I do this on Canva. Remember, I asked if you've used Canva before. And if you haven't, no problem. I had never even heard of Canva when I started my business. So there you have it. But one thing that's really nice is that your clients, they will give you videos, they will give you images. These pictures, this person I worked with, she sold hair bows for little girls. So I designed this pin, and the pin linked to these 4th of July hair bows. So it was a collection of hair bows. She made those by hand. They're absolutely adorable. So I designed the pin. It linked to her hair bows. So people, if they were, searching for little girl hairstyles, little girl bows, accessories for girls, girl mom, all of those things, her pin could have shown up. When somebody clicked on that, if they're like, oh, those are so cute, I want to buy those, then it would link them to those hair bows where they could buy those. So I did not take these pictures. I was not a content creator where I wasn't creating her products. I wasn't writing blog posts. No, I got to do the fun part. I got to design the pin. I do have to write a description for the pin utilizing keywords. So when people would click through on the pin, I would tell them, what they were going to expect. So like looking for the cutest hair bows for your little girl this summer, get access here and buy our 4th, I'm making this up, but I had to just explain like what they were going to get when they clicked through on the pin. So she took, these pictures had been taken. Actually, I think this was from one of her customers, and they had sent her this picture, and they had said that she could use it on social media or whatever. And then she had taken these pictures herself of the hair bow. So I didn't take these images. She provided them for me. The other thing that's nice too is you're not doing their branding. So they already have a logo, they have colors, they have fonts, and they're providing those assets to you. So you're not like reinventing the wheel for them. You get to take their brand, their images, and you get to run with it. And there is a creative element, but you're also, and this is kind of the automation part, you also will create templates to save you time, but it also creates consistency too. So if you think that this part sounds fun, let me know in the chat. I would love to hear your thoughts. This was something that I loved, but like I said, there is like a creative element to it, but I don't have any design. I'm not a graphic designer. I did not have any design. I had never even used Canva. So this would bring me joy. Oh, I love that, Katie. Sounds fun. Love the creative process. Yes, I would kind of, if any of you have ever felt like you do certain types of work and you kind of get like into a flow state where like you're almost zoned out, but like you're enjoying what you're doing. I found I would do that a lot when I would be like in the design process, and I would batch it. So I would like just do all the designs, and then I would upload all of them, and then I would schedule them out. And because your clients will be different, it adds interest. So I was a little worried that I would get like bored of doing the same type of work. And because I had so many different types of clients, it added a lot of interest to the work. Like I said, I worked with somebody who sold baby pacifiers. I worked with somebody who sold hair bows. I worked with teachers who had a blog. I worked with a business who they had like an ebook about how to like dress for your body shape. So they were like really into fashion. So lots of different types of businesses. And you heard me say you can upload it then. So when you're thinking about getting to that freedom and money, there's this automation piece where you don't have to be on or even available for your clients. Your clients are going to be super hands off, most likely. And I would maybe talk to my client like once a week or once every 10 days through email. So there's not this ongoing back and forth. And I used a scheduler. So I would actually schedule the pins and then it would be automated. So if I scheduled them at like 5 a.m. on a Monday, which sometimes I worked very early because I had little kids and I tried to work before they would get up, then I kind of batched it where like I would spend like 2 to 3 hours on Amanda's account on a Monday, 2 to 3 hours on Dina on a Tuesday, and with Ashley, I would spend 2 to 3 hours on hers on a Wednesday. And then because I had scheduled their content, I wouldn't touch their account for the next like 7 to 10 days, depending on how many pins I scheduled out. So it wasn't this like constant like getting and checking and, now sometimes like if I started Amanda's and I didn't get all of it done, then it would carry over to Tuesday, depending on like if somebody was sick or something like that. But the beauty of it is that like, you know, you have things you get done on that like on a monthly basis, but like, it's obviously you need to get the work done, but it's very flexible in terms of when you can do it. So that part in terms of like the freedom, that was huge for me. So this next piece, because we want money, right? So you're going to start as a
Hear
beginner.
you.
Everybody has to start somewhere. And you're going to go from beginner pricing to expert pricing over time. So as you get more experience, you start to increase your prices. So I teach my students
What
in
is
the
it you need?
academy how to, I actually, let
I
me,
was using the restroom.
oh, I think somebody is. Let's see. I'm going to mute a couple of people there. I think so. A couple of people actually accidentally came off mute. So I'm going to teach you how to price your services so you go from beginner to expert. And one thing that's really nice is you're not charging by hourly. I teach you how to price your services. And as you get more experience, you get faster at the work and it's like a built-in pay raise. So what I want you to share really fast, we're getting close to wrapping up. Just hang with me a couple more minutes. Um, I did say through email that this would last about 90 minutes. It's not going to last quite that long. But what I want you to do in the chat really fast, we're going to use a stoplight system. So green light, if you're like, I'm great with this, like I already know how to market on Pinterest. I feel good about the automation. I feel good about creating my prices and my packages, all of that. Yellow, if you're like, I kind of know bits and pieces of this, like I've done freelance work before. Red, if you're like, stop, whoa, like I need a lot of help with this part of the triangle and the framework. So I want you to put that in the chat. And I just want to say, like I said before, there's no right or wrong answers here. So do not feel Tamara said, I'm seeing lots of red. Okay, I love how you actually use the stop sign too. I've never had anybody do that before. That's funny. I love it. Yellow, yellow, red. Okay. Oh, Stacey said love it, but Canva frustrates me, LOL. Sheena loved the creative processing. So one thing I was gonna tell you too, Stacey, that because I had never used Canva, I actually did find it occasionally a little frustrating too, but I found that the more I used it, obviously, like the more comfortable I got with it. And one thing that's nice, Stacey, is that you'll be working from templates. So you can add to those templates over time, but like in the beginning, I start with 5 templates for my client. So when I'm going to create their pins, I'm not like reinventing the wheel every time I sit down or like trying to come up with this like new groundbreaking like design that's never been seen or done before. Yeah, you want to add like variety, and I teach you that in the academy, but that's one thing that really helps with the work too and saving time. So let me know if that gives you a little bit of peace of mind, Stacey. Robin, yellow, a Jew, yellow. I have some questions on the hours and pricing. Rachel, probably yellow. Stacy, red. Sheena, yellow, red. Okay, awesome. So the next piece, booked out Pinterest portfolio. So we want to talk about getting the right clients because to be very blunt, if you don't have clients, there's not an exchange of money. You don't have a business. So there has to be an exchange of money, right, in order to have a business. So I teach my students not to design and set up a website day one. I want you to have this immediate gratification as much as possible. I know I said that this isn't immediate gratification, but as soon as possible to get that first client. So I would love if it was immediate. I mean, and it's pretty fast. Like I said, I think Adriana was one of them who got her first client in 3 weeks. That is so fast. But you don't need to have this website. Okay. So you don't need to spend dozens of hours of your time or spend thousands of dollars to have somebody professionally set up a website for you. So the first piece of getting the right client load is just creating your portfolio. So in the academy, I even give you a portfolio template. I really try to make everything as step by step and clear as possible. So I give you my portfolio template. I explain to you what goes into the portfolio. I teach you that you need to get testimonials, what to do for testimonial work, which could include designing pins, doing keyword research, I don't teach my students to take on beta clients. That's a lot of work and it's not necessary. And I want you to get to that first paying client as soon as possible. So my students, without a website, they are getting booked out, meaning they have 5 or more clients with just a portfolio. And guess what? It doesn't cost anything but time to set up your portfolio. So, that's something that you can once again create in Canva. So now the next piece with getting this right client load. I teach multiple strategies inside the Academy for finding clients. You can use LinkedIn. You can use social media like Instagram. A lot of my students get clients from Facebook groups. I had a lot of success and got a lot of clients in Facebook groups when I first started. So in the academy, I actually have like a Trello board and I actually hyperlink all of the Facebook groups that I recommend and that I've used in the past. And another thing that I do in my coaching channel, as I see opportunities, like if I see something pop up in my Facebook, and I've done this multiple times, like in the past week, if I see something pop up on my Facebook where somebody's looking to hire a Pinterest manager, I'll take a screenshot and share it in my coaching channel. I'll be like, hey, like job opportunity alert. Um, Now, one of I call it the no fail plan way of getting clients, the no excuse paid to pitch. So, my fourth module in the academy, I have an entire module about how to pitch. And what this is essentially reaching out to somebody who doesn't know who you are and essentially painting this picture for them in terms of what Pinterest could do for their business and asking if they would like to start that conversation with you. So it's not like a hard, like, hey, I'm Emily, hire me. It's opening up that relationship and starting the conversation. I give an email template. I explain how to find these people, how to do your research, how to reach out to them, how to find their emails. And I, support you with how to craft an email that is impactful. A lot of businesses like myself get pitched to all the time. Every single day, I get emails from people asking me about if I want to be an affiliate for them, if I want to hire them as a VA, if I want them to be my YouTube video editor. I don't think twice about being pitched to. What I notice though is that the bar is so low. People put very, very little effort. I have never received a pitch like what I read from my students because they're being taught a totally different strategy. It's actually like putting effort into it. The pitches I receive are like copy and paste. Sometimes they don't even say my name, they put like my Instagram handle. I'm like, how hard is it to just look at my profile and see that my name is Emily? I mean, my handle is Emily. So, and I don't say that to sound rude, but it's just like it's very like robotic or like even like they've somehow automated it. And so what I teach my students is like just act like a person and talk to them like they're a person and show them what you can do for them. And it's so crazy how people don't do that. Like I said, the bar is so low. So what I teach my students in terms of pitching, and that's how Gwendolyn got multiple clients. What happens, and Courtney got multiple clients that way too. They pitch, they get clients, they get good clients and dream clients because they're actually choosing who they reach out to and business owners that they're excited to work with. And they're getting referrals that way too. So it's like they already have these 3 like rock star clients, and then those clients refer them to their friends. So it's like sometimes it's a little bit of a slog, like building that snowball. But once you get momentum, it starts to get bigger and bigger. So, like with Annie, she did a lot of cold pitching in the spring, and some of those people didn't come back to her until the fall. And then she like exploded where she went from like 2 clients to like 7. And of course, it doesn't have to be that way. If you don't want to take that many clients, you don't have to. But the pitching is like when you're like, will this work for me? It's like, well, are you going to put in the work because you will get a client? And that is like the no fail way, but it takes effort. I will say though, Diana, she sent out 9 emails, and from those 9 emails, she got 2 clients. It was literally an amazing conversion rate. I was like, wow. So sometimes it's like you could be writing good emails, and there is like a little bit of luck to it, slash it being a numbers game, but it 1000% works. So now when you're thinking about serving those many clients, like especially if you do have 7, it's about having systems in place because you want to be able to support those clients smoothly and really streamline your processes. I remember when I had my first client, I was like, there is no way that this is scalable. this takes me forever. And it's because I didn't have systems and processes. I took a course on like how to market on Pinterest. It didn't teach me how to be a manager. So, like managing multiple accounts and having these systems and processes. So, when you're thinking about getting clients, landing them, the portfolio, having systems in place, use the stoplight system again. How do you feel about that? Red, yellow, or green? And 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to share, we're going to wrap this up. So let me know red, yellow, or green. Oh, Stacy said it does. Thank you. You're welcome. I'll give you a second here as I take a drink of water. It's making me parched to talk a lot. Okay, Chastity said red. Hope, um, yellow, hours and pricing. Yuritsa said red. Sheena, yellow. Rachel, red. Rebecca, red. Kelly, yellow and red. Okay. So this last piece, as we wrap up here, and then I'm going to give you the next steps. No one's left behind. So when we're thinking about all of these pieces, whether you were, yellow, red, I don't know that I saw any greens. And this is where this last piece of the framework is going to be huge. Having that personalized Pinterest coaching. So in my framework, you are getting this support that is 100% necessary. I find that truly the reason why my students are successful is because they have that support. And that's what they're telling me. So I've actually pulled my students and said, like, why were you successful? Like, what made the difference? And it's not that they couldn't have like learned this and ran with it, but having that person who's gone before you already done what you want to do and being able to use them as a sounding board, ask questions, help you when you get stuck. You're getting that, not only are you getting the training, but you're getting that other side that I feel like is so necessary, which is the coaching. And so as my students get clients, it's not like, okay, well, my job here is done. The thing that's so important about the academy and what makes it so different is that, like, once you get clients, I find my students just have even more questions because they have very real scenarios that are coming up, like, oh, they asked me this, or like, how should I do this? And there are things that are like very situational where it's like, I couldn't have even like created lessons or content over every single question, right? It's like there are things that like you have to ask when you're like ready to cross that bridge, and it's very unique to this one situation, right? So that's why the coaching makes such a difference. And I know for myself, since literally 2019, I've been investing in business coaching because I don't have it all figured out. With every new level of growth, you have new questions, and there's always somebody who's further along than you that can help you. So, I do have, for those of you who are like, I want to get to that first client as quickly as possible, something else that makes this unique with hitting this framework, getting that 10K or maybe beyond a month in those part-time hours. I do have for people who, the academy is multiple months of coaching and training. And for those that are like, I want to get to that first client as quickly as possible, like I need to make money as quickly as possible. Even though the academy is multiple months, there is a 6 month and a 9 month option. I do have a 6 week plan where like, if you're like, I want to get to the first client as quickly as possible. So my rest of the time in the academy, I can just ask questions that come up with clients. There is a 6 week accountability blueprint, and it kind of gives you like a checklist, like week one, you need to get this done. Week two, you need to get this done. It's very expedited. And so I have some students like Joan's teaching full time. And she was like, you know what, Emily, I'm going to make progress, but I'm going to be the tortoise. I'm not going to be the hare. So the 6 week plan is kind of for people who are like, I want to be the hare. I know I have multiple months of coaching, but I just want to get to that first client as quickly as possible. It's, an option for them. But then there's people like Joan where she's like, I'm going to be slow. And if it takes me 3 months to get a client, I'm fine with that. And so she did. And it took her longer and she got her first client. She's gotten multiple clients, but she just wanted to do the slower route. And that's okay too. So this last piece here is you get community, you get weekly accountability, you get a weekly coaching call, you get me. And I think that that's something that's so different. There's so much online, like all these courses and different things, but it's like we're like missing that personalization and that human connection sometimes. And so you not only get the community, like my other students, you can, we have this community coaching channel, but you're getting to ask me questions. And it's not something where like you're getting peer coaching. I answer all of the questions that come through my coaching channel. And I use Slack, so I don't use a Facebook group. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook groups because even Facebook groups are based on an algorithm, and I want to see everybody's question and I answer every single question. And I don't give surface level or fluff responses. I create Loom videos. I send voice memos. It's very like, you know, feeling like I matter, my progress, my success matters because it does. And so, that's something that makes it really different from a lot of other things out there. And to be totally honest, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on business coaching, and it was all worth it. The academy is not tens of thousands of dollars. Okay. So I'll just say that it's in terms of getting business coaching, it's very affordable. And so that's something also that like makes it really different is that, you know, business coaching is very expensive, and it's something where you're not only getting the training, but you're also getting the coaching. So when you're thinking about this in the timeline, especially if you did decide to enroll in the academy and you're making an investment, you're probably like, okay, how quickly can I make that back? Because some of you probably already feel like money is tight, so you want to know what this is going to look like for you. So when you're thinking about investing in something and the return you're going to get, right? Because we want to not just break even, but start making money and be profitable. A very typical introductory package for a Pinterest manager ranges from $450 a month to as much as $700 for a beginner. Now, some of my students, Annie, Adriana, Courtney, multiple of them, they're already making over $1,000 a month from some of their clients in less than a year. So let's do some math. If you landed 5 clients at $450, that's $2,250. If you landed 5 clients at $600 a month, that's $3,000 a month. If you landed 5 clients at $1,000, that's $5,000 a month. Now I want you to ask yourself, there are millions upon millions of online businesses. Do you think there are 5 people in the entire world that would hire you to do this? Of course, that would be insane. Think just 5. That's not very many. Okay, so this is very realistic. I'm not saying that the client acquisition, like you snap your fingers and it happens. Sometimes it does take some effort, but remember, I do give my students leads as well. But I wanted to paint that picture because if you had one client, that would more than replace the monthly investment. So you're not only getting training, but then you're already in the coaching, but then you're already profitable as well. So, what is going to make this quick and easy for you? There are 2 things that are not necessary to win the Pinterest management game, and you don't need a formal degree in marketing or business, and you don't need prerequisite skills that make you uniquely qualified. So, I want you to think about how passionate you are about changing your current reality because you showed up today because you're ready for more. You want results and probably on the quicker side. And deep down, you know it's time for a change and transformation in your life. So it's your time. I have an important question for you. Do you feel hopeful? I would love for you to share in the chat. Do you feel hopeful? Red, I think we're still looking at Rachel said yes, yes. Lots of yeses. I love that. Remember, nothing I've shared today is theory. It's literally what I've done to change my life and positively impacting other women, sometimes men and moms and dads as well. Mainly women have enrolled in my academy, but there's no reason that men can't either. And I have had a couple. So just some more wins. Morgan, stay-at-home mom, update she paid. I officially have my first client. Jordan signed and paid. Lots more wins. And I would love for you to be sharing your wins in my coaching channel. So you've got 2 options. You can take the road on your own, keep going down the path you're already going, or you can make a change. And, this isn't a surprise. Of course, you've heard me talking about the academy. So the Pinterest Manager Academy is education, skills training, coaching, mentoring, and of course, everything I've learned over the years boiled down into one incredible academy. So literally everything you need to be successful at this career. So I want to share with you what makes this unique. It is anything but a course. When people are like, how much is your course? I'm like, it's not a course, it's coaching. So, it is training and there are lessons and modules, but it is so much different. And I think that I cringe a little bit at the word course because there's so many out there. And I've taken a lot of courses, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've learned a lot from the courses I've taken, but I've never had somebody who was the course creator actually offer personalized support and the regular coaching and that ongoing and for multiple months. Now, I have had coaching, like I said, and I invested a lot of money in it. So, like I said, this is more of like an affordable route where you're getting the training and coaching. But I want it to feel really different where it's not just like this in theory should work for you, but it's like, hey, we're doing this together. So, it's truly everything that you need in order to start and succeed at this business model in the shortest amount of time possible. So sometimes people are like, is there pricing? And I'm like, everything you need to be successful. That includes pricing. Do you help me find clients? If you don't have clients, you're not successful. So yes, I do help you find, truly everything you need. So anything you can imagine. So it's and I will say that too with a disclaimer, like this is not a beta round. I've had this for multiple years now, so I've refined it too. And I have dozens upon dozens more of success stories and wins. So if you're somebody who needs to read other people's results, my enrollment page has dozens upon dozens to the point where it's like, okay, is this a little too much? I actually asked my web designer that as she was adding more wins, but I want to show you that there's, undeniable reason to feel like I will be successful at this if you just put in the work. So, this is kind of my framework. I know we're getting close here on time, so I'm going to just breeze over this. If you want the enrollment page, I will be happy to share that with you. That fully breaks down everything. I like to read and kind of process, so I think that's going to be helpful. I do want to wrap this up, and also still like take a couple of minutes for questions. So if you want to read over the enrollment, it includes truly everything you're investing in and broken down. A few fast facts, you don't have to wait a specific amount of time before you get your first client. So for some people who have some background knowledge, you might get your first client a lot faster. So the more action you take, like I shared, the faster you're going to get results. I do have students get on discovery calls in like a few weeks, and then some people it takes like 8 to 12 weeks, depending on how much time you're devoting. Most students report spending 1 to 3 hours a day working on their Pinterest management business. So when you're thinking about the time investment, I would say, you need to have like at least an hour a day that you could devote to this. The Academy has proven results. However, it's completely you get out of it what you put into it. If you don't put anything into it, then you're not going to get anything out of it, right? Um, so now the next slide I'm going to share with you. This is my tough love, like being super honest. And I've had people be like, that's what I like about you. This also could be something that's a turnoff for people, and that's okay. I would rather have you look back and be like, you know what? Even if I don't like her, I gotta give it to her. She's honest. I would rather be like brutally open and honest and feel like you were given like the straight truth than, like I said, feel like you're being deceived because that's an icky feeling. So the next slide is very blunt, but it's what I'm looking for. And not everybody is a good fit for my academy. So I want you to feel like you're a good fit, but I want to feel like you're a good fit too. And not everybody is a good fit. And I don't say that to sound rude or unkind. It's just the facts, right? So the next slide is like kind of like my anti guarantee, which I know sounds very weird. But it's also meant to help people figure out, am I serious about this or am I not? Because I'm only looking for people who are serious. So this is my Pinterest Manager Guarantee. I'm going to show you my proprietary process for marketing on Pinterest and managing accounts. I'm showing you everything I've used, and that took me years to build. I'm going to be lifting the curtain on my business, and as a result, all sales are final. So if you're the type of student that needs a guarantee, then you aren't the type of student I want to work with. I want motivated self-starters that can take instructions and aren't looking for a way out before they even enroll. So if you aren't serious, that's okay. You don't have to enroll. But if you are, I know that these examples are going to inspire you. So I have, like I said, I'm not going to read through all of these success stories. I have a lot, so many. I continue to just click through slides. Terry wrote a very, very long one. All of these other ones, these are actually screenshots from my coaching channel. So these are the ones that people are like typing in. And then I also have people email me their feedback too, especially like once their time in the academy comes to an end, I'll ask them to share their feedback. So Terry actually emailed this to me. This is Meg. She's actually in South Africa. So I do have people all over the world. I've had a couple of students in South Africa. I've had somebody in Romania. I've had somebody in St. Lucia. I've had somebody in the Philippines. So like I said, all over the world. This is Ashley. She typed up her response and emailed it to me. This is Mallory. Mallory was actually in the military and was looking for a new career once she was done serving. She shared her feedback here. This is Nancy. I helped Nancy learn or land her first client. Nancy's situation was a little bit different. She had actually taken a different Pinterest course, but she did not receive coaching. And she was kind of spinning her wheels for like a year. And within working with me one-on-one, within 30 days, she got her first client. And it was a client and her package was $597. So it was a solid package too. More wins. So, and of course, too, when you're thinking about getting that first client, I do have my hire form. So this is a screenshot from my website and it's essentially like hire next team member. So business owners will fill that out and then I give those leads to my students. So you also get access to my hire form in the academy as well. So this is truly the one-stop academy for creating a successful Pinterest management business. But due to the high level of support and coaching that's included, I am limiting the numbers. So for February, I will be taking 9 new students. Now, I want to say that there's like a couple thousand people signed up for the training, but we did not have nearly that many here. But I will be sending out the replay. So this will be open up to everybody who had, signed up for this training, wanted to learn more. So I am taking 9 new students. With this being something that is an investment, I would love to chat with you one-on-one through an application call and help you decide if this is a good fit. So I would love to get to know you, talk with you, and like I said, just help you come to that conclusion. Like, is this a good fit for me? I really want you to feel like this is a personalized experience because it is. And so part of that includes chatting with me. Now, if you were like, Emily, I want one of those spots, count me in right now, then I would love for you to enroll, but I also do application calls. So I would love for you to apply and chat with me and we can talk through if this is a good option for you. So I want to recap. I'm looking for students that are willing to commit 1 to 2 hours a day and take consistent action, so much action that it makes it unreasonable to think that you won't be successful. So I'm going to share this in the chat really fast. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen. This link will be the link to book a call with me. I want to preface this by saying that if you book a call, please respect my time and other people's time because if you book a call, you're taking that time from somebody else who could take that slot. So if you don't show up, it's just disrespectful to other people and also my time. Now I have had things come up where like I had a kid that was sick or I had an appointment or another call run late and I'll be like 5 minutes behind, but I never have like ghosted anybody. Like I have that respect for people and their time. So I'm not saying like I get like life happens or something comes up, but I've also had people who will book a call, don't show up, don't email, never communicate again. So I just ask that if you do book a call that you just respect that time. I did want to share too that with the 2 different options, I shared that there's like 6 months or 9 months. There is an investment. Like this is business coaching. Like I shared, you're getting training and coaching. So with that said, there are a couple of different investment options. So I like to talk to people one-on-one about that because I know that like you're doing this because you want more money. So I get that it's kind of like, catch 22. And I've had people share that they're like, oh, it's hard because I don't have money, but that's also like why you need to do this. And I know that that's a very sensitive topic. So I'm happy to chat through the options with you. The investment does start depending on which option, either 333, so $333 or 497. So depending on $497. And that's not like the entire amount. So that's a monthly payment. So I just wanted to share that when you're thinking about booking a call, that obviously there is an investment. And so I wanted to put that link in the chat. So it is like first come, first serve. So if you want to book a call with me, that link is in the chat. Um, And let's say that you're looking at my calendar and you want to chat with me and you don't see any options that are going to work for you, then feel free to email me and we can figure something else out. I know my calendar is just a little bit limited and people are on different time zones, so I don't want that to hold you back. So if you don't see something that works for you, just let me know and we can try to figure something out. So I just put that, I'll put that in the chat one more time. That is the link if you want to book an application call. I wanted to put my email in there too. So if you don't see a time that works for you and you want to email me, then I put my email. It's hello@emilyvales.com. Also, too, if you came tonight, you've obviously been receiving emails from me. If you reply to any of those emails, like trying to communicate with me, a real person does read that. So I read it. I do have an assistant that helps with my inbox, but that doesn't just go like into like internet space. Somebody actually does read those. So we try to respond as quickly as possible too. And like I said, I respond to a lot of the emails, but due to like the volume of emails I receive, I do have somebody who helps me. But she's amazing. And especially like if she's like, oh, Emily would know best, like she'll bounce that back to me, like the email, if she feels like it's one that like I specifically need to respond to. So especially if you're like, I want to chat with Emily, then we can make that happen. But like I said, there is the link to book the call. Once again, those are first come, first serve. I just ask that you respect that time if you book a call. I will respect your time. Let's see here. Not seeing any other questions. Um, I will remind or just say again, I will send out this replay. So if there's anything that you want to go back and listen to, I will send this out. I know somebody else asked about that. So yeah, I hope everybody has a great night. I can't thank you enough for coming, hanging out with me. And you have the link to book a call if you want to shoot me an email. And I hope to see you inside the academy. And if not, social media, wherever. So thank you so, so much for your time. And I'll talk to all of you soon. Bye, friends.